brilliance from a Muslim doctor that speaks the truth. Wow. Listen in.
Is the Palestinian crisis a land dispute, in your opinion?
No, I don't think so at all. It's a religious issue, and I asked one, but it's mainly when you see the whole Palestinian issue, their problem is they don't want Jews to survive there. So if all Jews became Muslims one day, they will have no problem with that. So the issue with them is Jews. I asked one day a friend of mine, if all Jews converted to Islam in Israel, will you still have this fight and trouble? He said, of course not. I said to him, then this is not a problem of a land. It's a problem just because they are Jews. So, and when you listen to the Arab media, when you follow the Arab media, when you follow the people who are, it's all about a religious war against the Jews, and they wanted to take it further to apply the prophecies that Muslims will slaughter and kill every Jew in the world. This is one of the prophecies in some book called Al-Bukhari. It's not in the Quran, but it's in a book called Al-Bukhari that's well respected by many Muslims as a source of hadith book for the words of Prophet Muhammad, and there is this what they dream about is to fulfill this prophecy of killing every Jew there. So the problem here is in my, it's not a view. When you listen to the mosques, when you listen to the sermons, when you see the media, how they incite hatred and violence against people just because they are Jews. So you will realize that it's not a land dispute.
And what if America pushes Israel to concede land and to establish?
This will encourage the jihadists more and more in their path. In fact, the America should do the opposite. When the jihadists attacked America in September 11, they wanted to see these concessions happening. And if you showed them concessions, they will just attack you again. As when you were weak in 1998 and you didn't respond strongly enough against the attack on your embassies in Kenya and Tanzania, they attacked you again, and it was stronger. But when you went very hard on them, they haven't attacked you for years, and because they are afraid of you. So the jihadist mind is a different mind. You have to show them that what they want to achieve, they are getting the opposite. So if they are expecting you to do pressure on Israel, for example, to do concessions to them, then in fact you do the opposite of this, and this will give them a lesson. Don't attack us again, because we will not surrender to you, and we will do the opposite of what you want. So they feel they are losing, not gaining by their attacks. This is the message that you have to convey to them, and so to change their mind and to make them think twice before attacking you again or trying to attack you.
Wow, this is so on the money, as they say. Wow, it's a religious war, not against even Israelis, against every Jew. Because if we become Muslims believing in Islam, they'll be happy. They've won the battle. And of course, then they'll go on to the next battle. Hey, this reminds me of the Crusades. Who were the Crusades first and foremost? It was against the Jews. Everybody wants the Jews because, after all, we have the key. The key, because the key was given to the Jews, Mount Sinai, that we are God's people, we are here to bring God's message to the world. Now, they say they took over the message, right? That's what Christians say with Christianity. They took over the message, the New Testament, right? And they add now that the Quran is the new prophecy that took over the message from Judaism, from Christianity, and now they're the bearers of the truth. But who holds the original key to everything is the Jewish people. So, of course, we got to get them first and foremost. Interesting. Hitler also, the Jews we have to get first to destroy them. Right? He didn't want them to become part of the Aryan race. The difference, but the same idea. It's the Jew first. Wow, interesting. Second point over here that's very important, concessions. That will only encourage greater jihadism. So what do we need to do? The opposite. Do the opposite. Let them learn that it doesn't work. And this is unfortunately what has happened since the 67 war, when we won miraculously by God Almighty in 6 days against half a dozen nations around us that wanted to destroy us from the river to the sea. We won miraculously. And right away, what did we do? We ran back and says, here are the keys to the temple, to Temple Mount. Here, we want peace. We want. And they came back. Muslim nations around us came back. No peace, no negotiation, and nothing to talk about. Right? They drew the line, but we don't. And therefore, we let them push the envelope from one thing to the next. I think this is the first time that we have learned that we have to do the opposite of what they are doing, to let them learn the lesson. It's not going to work. Because after all, the jihadist mind is not like a Western mind, that you could talk to the person, negotiate with a person. Here, there's no negotiation. Because in the end, it's not about land. It's about the dominance of Islam. And where do you begin? With the Jew. Through the Middle Ages, where did it begin? With Christians against slaughtering Jews? It began with the Jews. But we're learning a lesson, that we're going to stand up and be strong Jews, committed Jews to not our own sensibility, but to our history, to our teachings, to our Torah, to our God, the God of Abraham, Isaac, and Jacob, as dictated in the Torah, on how we need to be strong, we have to be united, and we have to shine a light, shine the light of Jewish teachings, so that the world will see that we have a message that's for everyone. You don't need to be Jewish in order to be saved. You don't need to be Jewish in order to be good in the eyes of God. Not like in Islam, and not like in Christianity, really, where if you're not part of their membership group, if you're not part of their beliefs, then you're either going to burn in hell or you'll get slaughtered here. No, if you are someone who keeps the 7 Noahide laws of not serving idolatry, not the blasphemy of God, not to murder, not to steal, not to commit inappropriate sexual relations, to have set up courts of justice, and not to be cruel to animals as dictated in the Torah, flesh from a live animal, and its offshoots, then guess what? You don't need to be Jewish to be saved or to be good in the eyes of God, and to be part of the redemption, the final redemption through Mashiach that will change the world for good, where there will be no more wars. I really believe it. There won't be wars. There won't be greed. There'll be plenty of food for everyone, where we will be engaged in goodness and kindness. We'll be engaged in perceiving the oneness of God in the world, in our activity. We will all get along, not just peaceably, but divinely. So let's all engage in this together and learn. Let's learn together, Tanya. Daily, I give a class. Please join me. 9:30 a.m. Eastern Standard Time on youtube.com/Tanya Rabbi, or on many other platforms, Instagram, Facebook, Twitter, TikTok even, where you can learn and we can grow together. And together we're going to change the world for good.